KNUST-TEK TV. Experience educational television.
The Ghana Institute of Planners had their 47th Annual General Conference on the 30th November 2018 at the School of Business Auditorium, KNUST. The theme for this year's conference is Planned Cities, that is a key factor in effective sanitation service delivery. Dr. Salifu Yakubu delivered a speech on smart cities.
Planning cannot be done in a vacuum. You have to reach out to people and make sure that you plan with them. And then you have to use a toolkit that lend themselves to your proper application. Some things might be properly applied in Nigeria, maybe even some part of Lagos. And maybe you go to another part of Nigeria, even then, that will not be palatable. So do not take these as a gospel.
Some intellectuals gave suggestions, contributions, and asked questions on the presentation.
I think you have done a great job. So this will be my suggestion. What adjustments must be made to this so that we can teach our students, so that those in town planning can apply them, so that we can change our planning system in Ghana. I think that would be an excellent contribution, and that is my challenge.
The presentation would be 100% in America, but I doubt if it will make a very big success in our situation.
A senior lecturer from the Department of Planning, KNUST, Prince Abuaji Anoche, spoke to Tech TV News on waste management.
Well, waste management actually is a process. You have from the point of generation, the collection, the storage, the transport, treatment, recovery, and disposal. Now you would realize that the generation starts at the household level. So if we have well-organized housing with well-planned infrastructure, then it makes it possible for us to do house-to-house collection with ease, as it were. Well, immediately we begin to think about improving our planning systems, then becomes one of the key steps to achieving this. Because if you look at what we call the new planning system, which was introduced around 2006, 2007, as part of the land administration project, what we call the land use planning, land use and spatial planning, or land use planning and management project. What it basically does is that they try to create a system where we plan away from the piecemeal approach we've done in the past, where basically we plan as if we're creating islands, to a point where we plan holistically, look at the whole nation as one big piece, assign functions and roles to each of the regions, break the regions down into districts, assign district roles based on the regional functions, then going further down to communities within the districts, assigning them roles related to the district function, then coming to neighborhoods within the communities and assign a function related to the town or community function. So basically, if we follow this kind of rational approach to planning, then we don't only create houses, we create all the ancillary services that are required to make it work. I think I wouldn't completely say the problem has always been with other people apart from government. Because you see, if you go back into the core of planning, planning seeks to promote public interest. And who drives the public interest process? It's the state institutions, sometimes led by the technocrats who are trained to do the process. So it's the role of government always to make sure that it brings people together to actually make sure the right things are done. It's like somebody who conducts an orchestra. You may not necessarily play an instrument, but it's your role to understand which kind of instrument you need for every piece of orchestra and how to bring in what sound at what time. So if the government plays a coordinating role as a lead person who conducts an orchestra, then it's the government role to bring all the stakeholders together. And I think, again, in that regard, some efforts are being made to ensure that all stakeholders are brought on board to ensure we get the results we desire.
The Honorary Secretary, Mr. Percy Anambukari, spoke to Tech TV.
This year marks actually is the 49th birthday of the Ghana Institute of Planners. But this is the 47th Annual General Conference. Yes, and we chose Kumasi as the venue because exactly 49 years ago, some young men and women of the planning fraternity decided to form the Ghana Institute of Planners. So this year, we normally have our annual general conference in Accra, but this is the first time we are bringing it to Kumasi to rekindle our roots and show that this is where we started the whole institute. What is part of the mandate of the Ghana Institute of Planners to educate the public to know that every locality in Ghana here has a plan, either a structural plan or have a local plan. The local plan meaning if you have a 5-acre land or 200-acre land at anywhere, we have a plan for it where every activity will be located in space, and every space also has its own activity. So the general public is hereby advised that anytime they go for their site plans, they should go to the assemblies and find out that this parcel of land that I'm buying or I'm acquiring, what is its status when it comes to the layout of the assembly, i.e., is it for residential facility, or is for a school facility, or it is on the road or otherwise. So once you know that, then you take your decision from there, so that you wouldn't be confronted with you not building to conform with existing layout. Then you have problems with assembly. You see them marking your walls red and all that. It's so embarrassing. At times it's out of ignorance. So we want to take this opportunity to also educate the general public that this is what we have. Every area has its local plan. So once you have your parcel of land, you need to go to the assembly involved to check the layout and see where